Well, apparently the case was already opened. So, welcome everyone. It's now time for Case 8 of Supernatural Investigation. Hashtag murder. My head is still spinning, Matthew. Not only have we learned that demons have been absorbing the life force from this world for the past 5 years, but Justine's been arrested for a murder she says she didn't commit. It's possible she was possessed by a ghost. Apparently she wasn't the only one. Another killer, Jesse Adams, has no memory of murdering Rainy Day, nor does he remember our investigation. A tarot card was found at the scene of both murders, so it's possible the ghost possessed both killers. The last thing Jesse recalls before landing in jail is being here in Las Cruces, so if he was possessed, we may find traces of it here. Once we fill it up, Matthew, we better keep... Help! Please, somebody help me! One of my passengers has disappeared! Slow down, buddy. Who are you? Kevin East. I'm a tour guide. One of my passengers, Marigold Carson, is missing. Her bag was on her seat, but it has blood on it. Marigold Carson. We know that name, Matthew. She was the one who photographed Bigfoot when we investigated his murder in Oregon. We should check this out. Just relax, Mr. East. We're off-duty investigators. Detective Matthew will have a look at Miss Carson's bag outside. This must be the bag, Matthew. It has Marigold's name on it. What are the odds we come across someone we know out here in the middle of nowhere? Not to mention we're supposed to be helping Justine. But you're right, Matthew. If Marigold's disappeared, it's important we search her belongings. Need to get some stars, so sit tight, everybody. Okay, I have 8 stars. Oh! Oh, my victim's head. Oh my God, Matthew, that's Marigold's severed head. Somebody cut off her head and stuffed it into her bag. And look, her mouth has been sewn shut. Hope you haven't had dinner yet. Hope you haven't had dinner yet, folks. What? One of my passengers was murdered? That's her head. I can't breathe. I need my pills. I need my pills. Oh no! We've already got one victim, Matthew. We better find Mr. East's pills before he has a heart attack. He's right about one thing. Marigold Carson was murdered. But where's the rest of her body? Let's do another search for this gas station. It's now a crime scene. Helping Justine will have to wait, Matthew. We have a murder to solve. Like I said, I hope you haven't had dinner yet, folks. Bus tour ticket. Okay, I got it. I really hope Kevin East has just fainted, Matthew. The last thing we need is another dead body. Let's grab one of those pills. And this bus tour ticket you found has Marigold's name on it, Matthew, but it looks like she wasn't traveling alone. The other name's faded. I'll grab the Dusty Kit so we can see who Marigold's travel companion was. Moment, folks, so I get a few more stars. Okay, I got a few stars. Now I'm up to 9. Well, I got a couple, really. Now let's see if we can save Kevin East with one of his pills. Nice. Great, you picked up one of those pills, Matthew. Let's hope this does the trick. If Kevin East dies on us, the chief won't be happy. What happened? Did I pass out? Thank goodness you're alive, Mr. East. We thought you'd had a heart attack. No, I'm fine. But when you pull that head out, I just... Stay calm. Just tell us what you can. Marigold Carson was on my tour. We just came from an afternoon on the Island of the Dolls. On the Island of the Dolls. The Island of the Dolls? That creepy tourist attraction just across the Mexican border? Yes, we were there only an hour ago. I thought everyone was accounted for when we left. I did a head count, I swear. I'm sorry, I said head. I can't believe one of my customers was killed. I could lose my license. You and the rest of your passengers should stay here while we investigate this. Meanwhile, Matthew, it looks like we're headed south of the border to the Island of the Dolls. I hope you have your passport. Getting close to 10 minutes, so I'm gonna... Alright. Got me a fresh 10 minutes. Got it. Got the first star. Nobody knows why this Mexican island is covered with creepy dolls, Matthew, but it's super popular among thrill-seeking tourists. I, on the other hand, can't stand the place. There are spiders everywhere. But still, no sign of Marigold's body. The good news is nobody lives on the island, so everything we find here was either left behind by someone on the bus tour or the killer. You're right, Matthew. There's fresh blood on that steel box. This must have something to do with Marigold's murder. Let's open that up. And we should stick those torn pieces of paper back together while we're at it. But let's be quick about it. Vampires, ghosts, and freaky dolls don't bother me, but I draw the line at spiders. Just a minute, folks. Okay, I got myself up to 12 stars, so let's take care of this bus ticket first. So there is another name on that bus tour ticket, Matthew. Cecilia Carson. Must be a relative of Marigold's. Apparently Cecilia is the victim's cousin, and if she was traveling with Marigold, she might know what happened. Hey, who are you guys? I don't remember seeing you on the bus. We're off-duty detectives, and we're afraid we have bad news. Your cousin Marigold has been murdered. Come on, why would you say something so ridiculous? Wait, you're serious, aren't you? She's actually dead? I thought she was up the back of the bus, sleeping. I picked up her bag at the last stop and put it on the bus. What are you two doing here? Las Cruces is a long way from Oregon. We were on a trip to Mexico. After Marigold got mega famous, she wanted to get away from the spotlight for a while. Famous? Don't tell me you don't know. Marigold's like #popular. Ever since she took a picture of some hairy dude in the woods, she's one of the internet's hottest influencers. Wait, you don't think one of her crazy fans did this? That's what we're going to find out. I can't believe Marigold's gone. What will I do without her? Tiffany's house. That's weird, Matthew. This is a child's crayon drawing of the island. There's a little girl and someone's written Tiffany's house. House? Why would anyone actually live on this spider-infested island, let alone a child? Let's spread out and see if we can find this Tiffany. Hello, you must be Tiffany. Yes, did you guys miss the bus? No, but we wanted to know, is this your drawing? That's me in my house. Do you like it? So you do actually live on this island? Of course. Come on, I'll show you. My grandpa Jose will make us tea. Excuse us, are you Jose, Tiffany's grandfather? Si, I'm Senor Carvalho. Welcome to my island. So it's true you live here with your granddaughter? Of course, where else would I live? Don't you think it's a bit isolated? Isolated? Nonsense! The dolls keep us company. I even built a shrine to honor them. And of course there's the spiders. I've named them all. They're my friends. Here, meet Dennis. Apart from the dolls and the spiders, have you noticed anything out of the ordinary today? We're investigating a murder. A murder? Oh no, I don't think there's been any murders, but do join Dennis and I for tea. That's okay, Mr. Carvalho. We'll come back another time. I was worried there'd be more body parts in this box, Matthew, but it's just some weird device. Whatever this device is, it might belong to Marigold's killer, so let's have Hope examine it. Three hours, everything's all taken care of, and I'll see you guys when both of these are done. So for now, this is Matthew. I'll see you. Okay, we are back. Let's start the next, let's get the results of the severed head from Ben first. Good thing we stopped at this gas station, Matthew. If we'd driven past, who knows whether Marigold's murder would be properly investigated. Marigold must have been hitting the road, just like us, but she ended up with her head stuffed in her bag. The cause of death was obviously decapitation, but without the rest of the body, it's hard to say much more. What about her lips being sewn shut? Was the killer trying to send a creepy message? Silencing Marigold for some reason? I can't tell you that, but I do know that it wasn't just some random sewing job. The killer used a backstitch, one of the strongest stitches there is. I remember using it in the army to make repairs in the field. Since the killer knows how to use a backstitch, they're clearly an expert in sewing. Well, Matthew, it won't be long before we have this case all sewn up. Apparently, Marigold Carson's killer and I have something in common, Matthew. I always thought it was your weird childhood that made you socially awkward. Now you're saying you're an actual psycho killer? Not quite, but this particular killer and I have a soft spot for arachnids. You see, this device is an aspirator designed to collect live specimens of insects, or in this case, spiders. Sucking air through one of these tubes pulls the specimen into the chamber through the other tube. A small mesh inside prevents the insect from being sucked into the person's mouth. You're telling me you collect spiders? Like eight-legged freaks roaming around our trailer? No, I don't collect them, but the killer does. This blood is a match for Marigold's, meaning the aspirator belongs to her killer. As nightmarish as it sounds, Matthew, we're hunting for a killer who collects spiders. Matthew, we came to Las Cruces to find some leads on a ghost that might have possessed Jesse Adams and Justine, forcing them to commit murder. But instead we stumble upon the gruesome spectacle of Marigold Carson's head stuffed into her bag. Cecilia Carson, Marigold's cousin, is afraid she was killed by one of her crazy fans. Turns out Marigold's become quite the online influencer since we last met. The guide from the bus tour they were on, Kevin East, is understandably shaken by the whole thing. Then there's that old man Jose, who for some reason thinks it's a good idea to raise a child on a creepy island of dolls and spiders. And despite our initial search, we still haven't found Marigold's body. Let's spread out and keep looking, Matthew. There's a... Oh my. Ah! Oh boy. We'll get to chapter 2 in just a minute. And we've returned. Let's start chapter 2 of #murder. Right there is where we last left off on. Oh my god! There's a spider in my hair! Get it off me! Get it off! Thank goodness it's gone. Ew! Now what was I saying, Matthew? Ah, right. There's a shack on top of that hill. How about we search there? Let's just hope there aren't any spiders inside. Excuse me. There's the torso. Victim's legs. Whoa. And it's defaced. Oh god, Matthew, there's the rest of Marigold Carson. Her body spread all over the place. I guess this part of the island is our primary crime scene, where poor Marigold was murdered. Looks like Ben will be putting in overtime on these body parts. And check out this altar. Do you think this is for people to make offerings to the dolls? Nice catch, Matthew. This must be the victim's pin. It says, #Marigold is the best. But someone crossed that out and written the worst instead. I wonder who was angry with the victim. Let's get a sample of the substance it's written in. Maybe that will give us a clue. Come on, Matthew. The sooner we solve Marigold's murder, the sooner we can get back to proving Justine's innocence. Let's just do everything now. Well, that was lucky. Got it. Putting this substance under the microscope will help us determine who angrily defaced Marigold's pin, Matthew. Let's do this. Crayon. The substance scribbled on the victim's pin is crayon wax, Matthew. Why does that sound familiar? Wait, Tiffany, the little girl who lives on Doll Island, used crayon for her drawing. So Tiffany met the victim, but why was she upset with Marigold? Let's ask Tiffany and find out. Yay, it's my new friends. Will you play a game with me? Maybe later, Tiffany. Right now we'd like to ask you about this pin. Do you remember Marigold? Marigold is a big party pooper. Oh, what happened? I was in front of my house, sewing a new dress for one of the dolls when Marigold walked by. I wanted to show her my spider collection, but she said that was gross. So I asked Marigold to play hide and seek, but she laughed, saying I was just a stupid child. Then she gave me some silly pin and left. And you didn't see her after that? No, I told her to get off my island and never come back. And I'll let the body parts run their courses. I'll see you when that's done. Okay, we are back. Let's get the results of the body parts from Ben. This autopsy reminds me of my days as a military medic, Matthew. Back then, I thought there was nothing more gruesome than the mutilated bodies I'd seen in the field hospital. But then when I joined Jake to hunt the supernatural, my eyes were open to a whole new world of evil. I know what you mean, but it's crimes like these that show you even humans are capable of terrible acts of brutality. Speaking of which, now that I have more forensic evidence to work with, we're a lot closer to catching Marigold's killer. These cuts indicate the murder weapon has a long, wide blade with an extremely sharp edge. But the biggest find was this blood-stained statuette shaped like an owl. It was stuffed inside one of Marigold's pockets. An owl statuette? Why is that important? Well, ladies and gentlemen, I can answer that. In Mexican superstition, an owl is a harbinger of darkness and death, which means this statuette is literally the opposite of a good luck charm. Now, it's not the kind of thing you'd buy as a souvenir, and since the superstitious statuette is stained with the victim's blood, it must have been put in Marigold's pocket by the killer. So our killer is familiar with Mexican superstitions. Well, their luck is running out. Where to next, Matthew? You think we should go back to the gas station? You're right, we might find more of Marigold's belongings, which could shed light on this murder. Christmas tablet. Okay. Since the bus tour passengers first noticed Marigold missing at this gas station, it makes sense we find some of her belongings here. That blingy sparkly tablet is totally Marigold's. Fingers crossed there's something on there that tells us something about her killer. And searching through Marigold's wallet might also give us a new lead. All right. Ooh, $10,000. Whoa! There's a check in Marigold's wallet, Matthew, for $10,000. Why would Marigold have so much money, and where did it come from? Good thinking, Matthew. Hope can trace this bank account number and see who paid Marigold 10 grand. Now we're talking, Matthew. Marigold's tablet has opened up to her buzzer feed. The last photo she posted is a selfie taken in front of the tour bus with this guy. He isn't one of our current suspects, but that guy must have been on the same tour as Marigold. Which means if we can trace his identity, we'll have a new lead. Got the 9, R.J. Fielding. According to our database, Matthew, the guy in Marigold's selfie is a Texas oil tycoon named R.J. Fielding. And do I mean tycoon? Fielding's a billionaire. Let's see what Mr. Fielding can tell us about the victim. Excuse me. Howdy! You must be the detectives looking into Marigold's murder. Do you folks have guns? Care to join me for some target practice? I'm getting a mite bored. We'll skip the gunplay, Mr. Fielding, but we're curious how you knew Miss Carson. I didn't know her well, but she was really excited to meet a billionaire, so she wanted a selfie. So you only met her on the bus tour? That's correct, ma'am. I was kind of jealous of her enthusiasm, truth be told. I'm only on this trip to find a little excitement in my life. I can buy anything in the world and do anything I want, but frankly, it all bores me. There's only so many exotic spiders and ancient Mexican artifacts a man can collect. And I'll see you guys when I have all stars collected. So for now, this is Matthew. I'll see you soon. Okay, we are back. Let's get the results of the check from Hope. Hacking into the banking system reminds me of my childhood, Matthew. My guardian restricted all internet access with safety locks. But it didn't take me long to get around them. By the 7th grade, I was hacking into my school to improve my report card. If it were me, I'd have hacked into some dating sites. But what have you learned about that $10,000 check Matthew found in Marigold's wallet? The trickiest part of breaking into the Federal Financial Network is getting past the firewall. Their systems are highly encrypted. Once I was through that, tracking down the account number was easy. The person who paid Marigold $10,000 is Kevin East. Kevin East, the tour guide, why would he pay Marigold a small fortune? Maybe Marigold wasn't just some random passenger. Let's go grill Mr. East about this. Have you solved Marigold Carson's murder yet, detectives? I need to get this bus back on the road. You're not going anywhere until you explain why you paid Marigold $10,000. Wait, you know about that? That was a legitimate business transaction. A business transaction? Marigold is an internet sensation right now. One hashtag from her would have been worth millions. So I paid her to review my tour. I had to sell the most valuable specimen from my spider collection to raise the money. But then she told me she was going to tag me in a negative post. Apparently my service wasn't up to her high standards. If she posted a bad review about my tours, I'd be ruined. And now that she's dead, that won't be happening. I'll admit we argued about it. I had to stop her from destroying my business, but I swear by Tezcatlipoca, I didn't kill her. Tezcatlipoca. We finally found Marigold Carson's body, Matthew, but with a list of suspects on both sides of the border, we still don't know who chopped her up. Tiffany, that little girl who lives on the island, was mad at the victim for not playing her games. Marigold obviously had no patience for children, but Tiffany is a 10-year-old, not a psychopath. That billionaire R.J. Fielding, on the other hand, seems more than capable of murder. That gun-toting oil tycoon could have killed Marigold just for kicks. And Kevin East has a clear motive. One bad hashtag from Marigold and his tour company would have been ruined. We only have one option, Matthew, and that's to... Wait, is the bus starting up? Look, they're driving away. We have to stop them. And we'll see you guys for Chapter 3. Don't go... Alright, we've come back. Let's start Chapter 3 of Hashtag Murder. We last left off with the bus driving away. This is where... Kevin East, stop that bus right now! But detectives, I've answered all your questions. I need to get this tour back on the road. You and your passengers can leave as soon as we figured out who murdered Marigold Carson, and not 1 second before. Alright, we'll wait. Can you believe that, Matthew? He was about to drive off into the sunset with a busload of our suspects. Speaking of sunset, let's head across the border for another sweep of the crime scene. I don't want to be on that island after dark. Got it. Wow, Marigold really was famous, Matthew. She's on the cover of that teeny magazine. But someone viciously defaced it. Let's collect a sample of those fragments. They can help us track down who did this. And look, there's a faded note on what looks to be a pile of offerings near the altar. I'll grab your dusting kit to see what that says. And these broken pieces look like some sort of ornament, Matthew. Let's put these back together as well. I'm anxious to get back to proving Justine's innocence, but not until we've caught Marigold's killer. Moment, folks. Okay, I got 4 of the stars, so let's go ahead and do this. Skull. This is a Day of the Dead mask, Matthew, and an expensive one too. It's encrusted with diamonds and engraved with gold. And the victim's name is on it. Do you think this was some sort of gift? There's only one suspect who could afford something like this, Matthew, and that's R.J. Fielding. This mask is a pretty generous gift. Maybe they were closer than we thought. Let's ask Fielding and find out. Don't mind me, folks, just sewing a button back on. Dang thing up and popped off. We're curious about the mask you gave to the victim. Quite an extravagant gift for someone you just met on a bus tour. Truth be told, I was quite enamored by Marigold's buzzer feed before today. Yes, ma'am. So when she posted that she was coming on this island tour, I booked a ticket. I thought that mask would win her affection, seeing she was into spooky things like that. I take it since Marigold broke it, the mask didn't go down well? It did not. Marigold rejected me, if you can believe that. That's never happened before. I thought she might have been intimidated by my money, but she said she wouldn't date a 30-year-old guy. A bruised ego is a strong motive for murder. It wouldn't be the first time. I didn't kill her, if that's what you're suggesting, but you folks are free to arrest me. That would at least be something exciting. The message written on this offering card is in Spanish, Matthew. I'll just run that through the translator. It says, "Forgive me for the pink-haired pixie." The pink-haired pixie is obviously the victim, and the only suspect who'd present an offering to the dolls in Spanish is Tiffany's grandfather, Jose Carvalho. What are all these offerings to the dolls about anyway, Matthew? Why was Jose asking for forgiveness? And how does Marigold fit into all of this? Come on, let's get some answers from Jose Carvalho. What are you people still doing on the island? You must leave, now! Why? What's happening? Marigold made the dolls angry with all her selfies and whatnot. I've tried to appease them, but if they don't accept my offering, bad things will happen. What do you mean, bad things? They're just dolls. No, not according to the ancient legends. I taught them to Tiffany to be careful around the dolls. I try to live peacefully with them, collecting my spiders, sewing quietly in the evenings, but you mustn't anger the dolls. And how did you appease them for Marigold's disrespect? Was she the sacrifice? No, I would never do that. But please, you must go, now. Got it. Matthew, let's get these fragments to Priya, fast. Whatever they are, they may give us some clue as to who defaced Marigold's magazine cover. Nine hours. I'll see you guys when this is done. For now, this is Matthew. See you soon. Alright folks, I guess I fell asleep earlier, but it's already almost 5:30. Matthew, you know the saying you can pick your friends, but you can't pick your family? Do I ever. My parents and I have rarely seen eye to eye, and they've never understood me or my problems the way you guys do. You were the ones who helped me get over my unfortunate vampire romance, and I know you guys will support me trying to help Justine. Okay, I know Luke rolls his eyes a lot, the Chief yells at me, and Hope is constantly teasing me, but that's just because you all care so much. But what does family have to do with the fragments Matthew found on that defaced magazine? The fragments are skill cells, Matthew, or skin cells, and while I can't map out a comprehensive profile, there's enough here to indicate the DNA is very similar to the victims. It's not a perfect match for Marigold herself, but whoever defaced that magazine and left behind those skin cells is a member of her family. Her family? Cecilia Carson, Marigold's cousin, certainly fits that bill. But why would she scratch out Marigold's picture like that? Let's ask Cecilia and find out. Oh, detectives, why haven't you found Marigold's killer yet? I need to know who'd do such a thing. You're obviously upset, but we know there was bad blood between you and your cousin. We found that magazine you defaced. How did you know I did that? But yes, I was mad at Marigold. If it wasn't for her, I wouldn't even be on this stupid bus tour. But weren't you excited to be getting away from things? I was totally looking forward to a super fab girly trip to Mexico. Sunshine, swimming pools, and margaritas. I even sewed some new outfits for the trip. But instead of beaches and burritos, we end up on that godforsaken island with terrifying dolls and spiders. That place creeped me out. When we got inside that shrine, I totally flipped. What do you mean flipped? Did you hurt Marigold? No, but we had the biggest argument ever. Then I ran off. That was the last time I saw Marigold alive. Marigold Carson might have been popular online, but she certainly wasn't making any friends in real life. RJ Fielding, while charming on the surface, bothers me, Matthew. His bored with life thrill-seeking is oddly disturbing. I wonder how he really feels about Marigold's rejection. The victim's cousin blew up after being dragged to an island of creepy dolls and spiders. Was she expected to be on a relaxing Mexican holiday? While Jose Carvalho may have taken crazy superstitions too far, sacrificing Marigold to the dolls. If we're going to close this case, we need more clues, Matthew. So let's take one more look outside before it gets dark. Really thought that basket was a clue, but I guess not. Matthew, that's the victim's phone. As an online influencer, I imagine Marigold's entire life is on this device. And I agree, that pile of leaves looks like it's been recently disturbed. Something could be hidden under there. I can almost feel it, Matthew. Marigold's killer is nearly within our grasp. Moment, folks. Okay, I got a couple stars. I'll get the rest in the morning. Got it. We've got Marigold's phone unlocked, but I can't see any obvious clues on the home screen, Matthew. But I bet Hope can find something on this phone. machete. Wow, that's one big knife, Matthew, and there's blood all over it. This machete must be the murder weapon. Let's have Priya examine every square millimeter of this machete for clues. I'll see you guys when both of these are finished. We're about to put a killer behind bars, so don't go anywhere. Okay, it's Matthew, we're back, and let's get the results of the phone from Hope, and let's put a killer behind bars. You wouldn't believe the amount of trivial stuff Marigold has on her phone, Matthew. Countless blog posts and text messages, and literally thousands of photos. But there is one photo here that might just crack this case. Well, don't hold out on us, genius. What do you have? The photo was taken seconds before Marigold was murdered, and it's a picture of her killer. Her killer? Who is it? Judging by the angle of the photo, the victim was either falling or running away when she took it, so the image is incredibly blurred. And although you can't make a positive identification, one feature is crystal clear. The killer has a mole. The killer can't hide that from us, Matthew. We're looking for someone with a mole. If this machete tells us anything, Matthew, it's that there's a violent killer out there, so I'll keep my report brief. It goes without saying the blood is a match for the victim, and the pattern of the splatters is consistent with the brutal attack. However, it's the pattern of these mud splashes on the machete's handle that I'm more interested in. Mud splashes? Exactly. You see, the angle of the mud splatters indicate the killer must have been splashed with mud during the murder, which means the killer's clothes will be stained with mud. We'll be able to spot that a mile away, Matthew. I don't know about you, Matthew, but I've had my fill of this creepy island. It's time we caught Marigold's killer and got out of here. It's not Kevin East, and it isn't Cecilia Carson. Oh, wait. Unbelievable, it was Tiffany. Yes. Clue number 4 was what I was worried about most, but I managed to keep my perfect streak alive. Wait, Tiffany is the killer? A 10-year-old child? Is it true, Tiffany? Did you hurt Marigold? Of course I did, silly. I told you I didn't like her. But why? Because she wouldn't play with you and called you names? No, because my plastic doll eyes looked into hers and saw the darkness and ugliness of her soul. Wait, what? You're one of the dolls? Yes, but I'm not like the rest of these lifeless toys. These dolls can't see into the hearts and souls of you humans, but I can. And I could see right through Marigold's soul, and all I saw was darkness. So you're not actually a little girl, which means Jose isn't really your grandfather? No, but his arrival on my island is what brought me to life. For decades I was lifeless too, but Jose's devotion to me and the other dolls awakened an ancient magic that had enchanted me. I opened my plastic eyes, walking and talking like a real child. We live in peace on this island, he and I. Tourists like you come and go, and I find humans mildly entertaining. But Marigold, her heart was rotten. I didn't want her on my island, so I chopped her up. And now it's time for you to leave too. Stand down, Tiffany. Arrgh. OMG. Oh my God, Matthew, we almost got taken out by a murderous doll. That's one for the books. Tiffany definitely wasn't human. She was some enchanted doll. Who knew that was a thing? At least the rest of these dolls are just toys. We'd have a really big problem right now if they weren't. Jose Carvalho obviously wasn't Tiffany's grandfather, and he certainly knew Tiffany was a threat. But how did Tiffany come to life in the first place? And how did Jose know she'd murdered Marigold Carson all along? Clearly there are a lot of questions to answer. But right now, let's head back stateside and report to the chief. And we'll see you guys for Something Wicked This Way Comes 3-5. Okay, let's start Something Wicked This Way Comes 3-5. Let me get this straight, Matthew. That little girl, Tiffany, wasn't a little girl after all. Instead, she was some enchanted murderous doll? That's what she, or it, said, Chief, before trying to kill us. We've never come across an enchanted doll before. Where the heck did that come from? Well, the man with the answers is Jose Carvalho. He warned us bad things would happen if Tiffany got angry. Did he know Tiffany murdered Marigold? Has she killed before? And even though Tiffany's gone, could this happen again? Matthew, you head back to Mexico and get some answers from Mr. Carvalho. But what about Justine and Jesse Adams? If they were possessed by a ghost that compelled them to kill, we have to help them. Don't sweat it, Gwen. I'll head south with Matthew. It's been a while since I went out hunting. That leads me to look into these suspected ghost possessions. But where to start? Well, there is one thing that links the murders involving Jesse and Justine. Those tarot cards. Come see me in my trailer and I'll explain. And I'll meet you across the border to speak with Jose when you're finished with Hope, Matthew. This is more important. Is it true? Is Tiffany gone? My darling, my granddaughter. She wasn't your grandchild and you know it. She was some murderous enchanted object which you should have warned us about. Forgive me, I knew this day would come, but I didn't want to lose her. I loved Tiffany. It's time you told us the truth, Mr. Carvalho. What was Tiffany? I don't know. I came to this island because my family didn't want me. And it was a cheap place to live. I just thought the dolls were discarded trash. In my loneliness, I took to talking to Tiffany, imagining we were family. Then one day, Tiffany came to life. I never questioned it. I was just overjoyed to have a companion. Was she violent? Has she harmed anyone before? There were outbursts of anger, but I appeased her with my offerings. I know Tiffany was dangerous, but I loved her. Now I have to live without her. You poor old fellow. You meddle with something way beyond your understanding. Now that Tiffany's gone, I swear nothing like this will happen again. I know this won't make amends, but take this. It's all I have. I suppose Jose Carvalho could technically be charged as an accessory to murder, Matthew, given that he knew Tiffany was responsible. But now that Tiffany's gone, leaving him here all alone would be punishment enough. It's sad when old people get so lonely, Matthew. Makes me think of my dad. He's getting on in years, and he's on his own too. I wish I could visit him more often, but we're always on the road, and he thinks I'm on a tour of duty. You know what, Matthew? I should send Dad a present. Let him know I'm thinking about him. The old man's partial to a good cup of coffee, and from what I hear, the blends they make down here in Mexico are amazing. It's a long shot, but let's scout around this island and see what we can find. Got it. Nicely spotted, Matthew. It looks like Mr. Carvalho has had some fresh coffee beans out to dry. I'm sure he won't mind us borrowing a few. Let's grab some of these coffee beans for my dad. Man, Dad's going to love these coffee beans, Matthew. I already smell the aroma. Now we just have to package them up and... Oh, that's true. This island is enchanted, isn't it? We can't assume these coffee beans are safe to drink. Good call, Matthew. Let's have Priya analyze these beans first. The last thing I want to do is send my dad enchanted coffee. Have you found something that'll prove Justine and Jesse's innocence? Something to do with those tarot cards? Well, it turns out those murders weren't the first killings where a tarot card was left behind. I found 3 other cases going back 5 years. Each time a tarot card was found with the body. 3 murders over 5 years? And now Jesse and Justine? This has all the markings of a serial killer, or worse, a serial killing ghost. But why the gap between the first 3 cases, then 2 more within a week? Have you found any connection? Nothing obvious, except that all the victims were loved ones of the killers. And the only thing tying the killers together is that they were all successful in the natural resources sector. What do you mean were? All 3 of the previous killers committed suicide in prison, which is hardly surprising. If our ghost possession theory is correct, they were all innocent. Committed suicide? Oh no, we can't let that happen to Justine. Let's go outside for a moment, Matthew. I need some air. These tarot murders are much bigger than we thought, Matthew. If what we suspect is true, a ghost has possessed 5 different people over the past 5 years, compelling them to kill their loved ones. Matthew, I have an idea. If Jesse Adams was possessed here in Las Cruces, then we might be able to make contact with the ghost. We should conduct a seance. A seance? But how can we summon the spirit? We don't have any of their personal belongings. We don't even know the ghost's name. Well, we have the tarot cards left at the 2 previous crime scenes. Those should allow us to make contact. The trouble is, I've run out of ceremonial candles, and we're in the middle of the New Mexico desert. I don't know where we could find some. Wait, Matthew's right. That shrine on Doll Island is filled with ceremonial candles. There must be some there we can use. Let's hurry, Matthew. The sooner we get some answers from this ghost, the sooner we can help Justine. Alright. Had to run to the bathroom. See. Aha. Oh. We need to find some ceremonial candles for our seance, Matthew, but these have already been consecrated in honor of the dolls. Let's open up this wooden trunk. There might be some fresh candles inside. Okay. Perfect, Matthew. These ceremonial candles haven't been touched. Let's get them to Felix so we can prepare the seance. Nine hours. I'll see you guys when these 2 are finished. So for now, this is Matthew. I'll see you soon. Okay, we're back now. Let's get the results of the candles. I just read online that the scimitar of Carpathia has been stolen from the Louvre in Paris, Matthew. That ancient weapon is priceless. That's fascinating news, Felix, but it won't help us free Justine. But these candles you found should do the trick, and I've got the tarot cards all set. Then what are we waiting for? Let's get started. Well, I'm not chickening out or anything, but here's the thing. We're about to summon a spirit that might be responsible for 5 murders. If we're not careful, things could go south very quickly. But according to Botan's spirit guide, the mineral rose quartz emits a powerful positive energy. Having rose quartz in the room during a seance will keep us out of harm's way. Rose quartz might be tricky to find, but Kevin East is superstitious and he knows this area well. Maybe he can tell us where we could find some rose quartz. passengers are no longer suspects in Marigold Carson's murder, Mr. East, so you're free to go. But we were wondering, with your knowledge of the area, whether you know where we might find some rose quartz. Pardon me? Rose quartz? That's a strange question. Oddly enough, I normally keep a piece with me to balance the positive vibes, but I threw it away a few hours ago. It didn't do me much good today. If you're willing to go digging around in that garbage can, you're welcome to it. Now, if that'll be all, I'll say adios. Looks like we're rifling through the trash again, Matthew, but if it'll help us free Justine, it'll be worth it. Let's just have something to eat before we get our hands dirty. Moment, folks, again. Okay. Got it. This must be the trash can where Kevin East dumped his rose quartz, Matthew. So let's roll up our sleeves and dig in. You found it, Matthew. We can use this rose quartz to protect ourselves during our seance. Let's head back to Felix's trailer and get this show on the road. Alright dudes, the candles are lit, the tarot cards are on the table, and I've got the rose quartz right here. Then let's do this. Grab my hand, Matthew. Unknown spirit, we ask that you reveal yourself. We seek your presence among us. I don't think it's working, Matthew. Try again. Unknown spirit of the tarot, appear to us now. Who dares summon me? Are you the spirit of the tarot? We want to know who you are and why you're possessing people, killing the innocent. You have no right to disturb me. I've been dead 5 years and my anger grows stronger with each passing day. If you don't leave me alone, I shall unleash my wrath on you. We're not afraid of you. You should be. Others have tried to stop me before, to their peril, like Greg Schmidt. Greg who? Enough! I will speak no more. Cease your investigations. or it will be your end. That didn't go well. Whoa, that was trippy, Matthew. Direct contact with the ethereal plane. And that was definitely the spirit we're looking for. It makes sense the ghost died 5 years ago when the murder started, but we still have no idea who this ghost is or why they're targeting these victims. They did drop one clue, Matthew, the name Greg Schmidt. Let's pass the name Greg Schmidt to Hope. Then we can report to the chief. Now for the coffee beans. Do you not like your father, Ben? Excuse me? I just assumed, since you want to send him these coffee beans. Why? Is there something wrong with them? Only that they're stronger than a buffalo on steroids. Oh, I see. Well, we shepherds like our coffee on the strong side. But it's otherwise safe to drink? Sure thing. Go ahead and try some. Whew, boy, that's the stuff. Dad will love this. Looks like we're ready to send this to my dad, Matthew. Let's give him a call and tell him it's on the way. Alright, Matthew, I've got a connection through to my dad. Just making sure the signal scrambles so he can't trace our location. He is ex-military after all. Hello, son. I didn't expect you to be calling. What with you on a tour and all. I've got a 3-day pass, Pop. Getting in a little R&R. I suppose that's why you're not in uniform. That's right. Now I can't chat for long, but I'm sending you over some fresh coffee beans. The ones they have out here are incredible. Coffee beans from Chile, you mean? That's where you are, right? Nice try, Pop. You know I can't tell you where I am, but I miss you, Dad. I miss you too, son, but I'm looking forward to that coffee. And don't forget to dress warm for your R&R. Speak to you soon, Dad. I guess you could call this a productive day, Matthew. We solved a murder committed by an enchanted doll, and we've also made progress towards proving the innocence of Jesse Adams and Justine. Not only are the deaths of Rainy Day and Justine's sister the latest in a series of killings going back 5 years, it turns out our theory was correct. A ghost who died 5 years ago has been possessing people and compelling them to commit murder. It might be a coincidence, but the demonic presence that has been absorbing the life force from this world also started 5 years ago. I'm not sure whether those are connected, but I gotta say, summoning the spirit who possessed Justine and Jesse Adams, that was some freaky stuff. While the Phantom didn't identify itself or explain why it's killing people, it did mention the name Greg Schmidt. Well, I found out who he is. Detective Schmidt was the investigating officer from the previous Tarot murders. The only catch is, Schmidt's now in a mental institution. He's a patient at the Blackmore Asylum in El Paso, Texas. What? So that cop went insane after investigating those murders. The spirit warned us pursuing this would be dangerous. But we won't be intimidated. El Paso's just an hour down the road. Everyone pack up. We're moving on to Texas. and December 12th is the next case. That's 3 days from now. That's a Thursday. Okay, well, I'm almost done with this. Unfortunately, I gotta run to my church in a couple minutes. Okay. Whoops. Anyway, I'll be seeing you guys on December 12th. For now, this is Matthew. Thank you for watching.